some background music.
Oh, and corn. Okay.
Okay, so how many of you guys have ever told someone like, oh, I fell in love? Like, it doesn't have to be with a person, it can be with like a food, or you just used the phrase before. And how many of you guys have used the phrase, I love you from the bottom of my heart? No one? No. Okay. So, today I'm going to be discussing what the brain does in love, because contrary to popular belief, the brain actually does all of the work and the heart doesn't. This complex organ inside of our head is actually crucial to reproduction, actually. If you guys did not know that, I hope you did though. So, for the next few moments, I kind of want to share what I know about this, and I know I don't seem like a credible source, so I'll kind of like give some background as to like why I'm talking about this. My sophomore year of high school, had to take driver's ed, just like a lot of sophomores in high school. And when we were not driving, we would have to like pick a classroom and go into that classroom and sit there until our teacher came and got us to drive. And you got to like pick what teacher you went to, but every single teacher that I picked was either full or someone had gotten to them before I could get to them. So they placed me in the sociology and psychology classroom at my school. And I thought it was going to be the most boring thing ever, even though I didn't have to learn, but it's actually allowed me to carry on my own research about a topic that interested me a lot. So we can just start with the first slide. So your brain is pretty much a cocktail of chemicals no matter what you do. It doesn't seem like that because you look at MRI and just scanned pictures, it just looks like a giant blob in your head, but it's actually a lot more than that. When you fall in love, your dopamine levels go up, and as it says right here, from the moment you first see Mr. or Mrs. Right, your brain immediately goes into action. So the second you see someone that you could remotely be interested in, your brain just goes through all the steps. And I have to read this part because it's cut off. Well, it's also cut off there. But the ventromedial cortex can actually like judge people's attractiveness in milliseconds, so you can judge whether you would be interested in that person based off looks or not, which seems wrong, but it's just our brain's natural response. Dopamine levels are actually very important. If you don't know what dopamine is, it's pretty much the chemical that has the same thing to do with obsessive compulsive behaviors and also drug and alcohol addiction. So you fall in love with someone and you fall for someone, we're not going to use love right now, and you automatically just become obsessed with being around that person. You make a point to go into classrooms that you know they're in, make a point to see them at work, go into restaurants that you know they're going to be at. You become very obsessive with this person, and that's because your dopamine levels have increased drastically without even trying. So you develop a crush on a classmate every single time you think of this person. Your neurotransmitters are releasing dopamine, and it fires off more when you think of your crush. So if you think of the person that you're dating right now, the second you even think of their name, your dopamine levels have skyrocketed. Next slide, please. So this just kind of explains the third phase of when you meet the person. It's just you try to figure out, is this person right for me? You kind of go past the looks, which is the second phase, but there's really nothing that goes on with your head that's not already happening in the first phase. So, next. Okay, so how many of y'all just watch scary movies just for the rush of it? Okay, well the same thing is happening when you go on a date or walk into a room when the person that you like or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is in that room. You get very nervous, and it's often described as butterflies. So if you've ever like talked to your friend, you're like, oh, I felt butterflies when I saw this person. Your heart races, your adrenaline, and your palms are sweating, and you get really clammy, and you don't know what to do, kind of like how I am right now, sitting in front of all of you guys. That's the early stages of a relationship, and the brain basically sends signals to your, I never know how to say this, adrenal gland, which is located on the top of your kidneys, and it pumps out adrenaline, obviously, but also never know how to say this. Epinephrine? I don't know. I don't know. It's,
Epinephrine.
yeah, thank you. And as you can see right here, it just makes the heart race, palms sweat, and then blood from the pleasure center of your brain kind of flushes out. I feel like I wrote that somewhere to make the point. Well, and this is one of the final phases of love. So it's when you only want one person and only them. You kind of shut out everyone else. And it's just, again, a natural response. So, next slide, please. So this is the last phase, and it's when you've found someone special, and you kind of, if any of you guys know what a meet cute is, it's when, like, in a movie, when the girl, like, drops all of her books on the floor or something in school, and then, like, guy comes over and, like, helps her pick them up, and they make eye contact. That's kind of a meet cute, and that's when all of this starts, and that's not really where it finishes either, because it's the same thing every single time they meet each other. But also, men, this is not on my slides, men have a harder time with falling in love. And I can explain more about this based on the article by Adrian and Ben Trumbull about how testosterone and oxytocin hormones influence male behavior. So when a girl falls in love, she can fall in love almost immediately, but when a guy falls in love, you really can't do that because testosterone is in the way. And so in order for a guy to fall in love, he has to commit. So that is why it takes a lot longer for a male to fall in love. There's more on that article. And also your brain goes through this entire thing but reverse when you're going through a breakup, which was mentioned by Melanie Greenberg, PhD, in the article. This is your brain on a breakup. I didn't put that in the slide though because I'm talking about love and not the opposite. So, you can't logic your way in or out of love, but your brain is kind of the central makeup of everything. And the professor that I had in my class actually worded it like, when you try to open a pickle jar and you can't open it, you give it to someone else for them to open it. So your heart can't open the pickle jar, so it gives it to your brain. But of course the heart tries to take all the credit. So, but the brain is actually the one doing all the work. So that's kind of my insight on how the brain falls in love. Not really, a lot of people know that. They don't really care to know that. But I thought it was really interesting. And I hope you got something out of it. If not, you'll learn that you judge attractiveness the first thing when you meet someone that you like. So, thank you. Yay.